If you're over 60 and you've flown a U.S. airline this year, there's a real chance something in your carry-on right now is on a list TSA and the FAA quietly tightened through May and June 2026. Not the obvious things. 7 everyday items most seniors pack on every flight, and one of them costs $200 to replace if it's pulled at security. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 7 items to take out of your bag tonight, and a federal rule most travelers our age have never been told that could have prevented every surrender you've ever made at a checkpoint. Quick question before we start. Has TSA ever pulled something from your bag and you walked away wondering if you actually had any other option? Comment below, because the first item on this list is one I want you to go look for in your medicine cabinet the moment this video ends. Item 7. The mercury thermometer in your medicine cabinet. That slim glass thermometer in the bathroom drawer, the one your mother used, then you used, and still works perfectly, is now restricted on U.S. flights. Mercury is classified as a hazardous material by the FAA. A broken mercury thermometer in cargo can contaminate an entire baggage hold, so the rule is specific. 1 mercury thermometer is allowed in checked baggage only, and only when the thermometer is enclosed in a protective case provided by the manufacturer. Carry-on is prohibited entirely. For most seniors, this catches you in a way you don't see coming. You're flying to visit family for a few weeks. You pack the thermometer out of habit, the way you've packed it for 40 years. It goes in your toiletries bag, it rides in the carry-on. The X-ray catches it. Out it comes. The fix is one of 2 things. Replace the glass thermometer with a digital one. They cost under $15 at any pharmacy, and they pass screening without question. Or leave the mercury thermometer at home and buy a digital backup at your destination if you actually need one. Either way, the thermometer in your medicine cabinet does not belong in your carry-on. Item 6. The little blade hiding on your wine opener. The corkscrew itself is technically allowed. The 1/2-inch foil cutter blade folded into the side of it is what gets the whole tool pulled. TSA's rule on blades is mechanical and absolute. Any tool with a blade, regardless of length, is prohibited in carry-on. That means most wine keys, most multi-tools, most keychains with a built-in bottle opener that has a small folding edge. The rule tightened again in 2025. Foldable utility tools with blades under 2.36 inches used to slide through on agent discretion. That discretion is gone now. Short blades count. The whole tool goes in the surrender bin. This catches seniors more than any other demographic because we are the ones who travel with wine openers. Hotel rooms are unreliable. The little corkscrew has been in the bag since 1998. It gets pulled now in a way it didn't 5 years ago. The fix is a $4 swap. Bladeless wine keys exist at any kitchen store. They look identical to the one you've carried for decades, just without the foil cutter. Or use a basic waiter's friend without the blade attachment. Or buy a corkscrew at the destination and leave it in the hotel. Item 5. The bag of coffee that's just slightly too big. The TSA rule on powders is one most travelers our age have never heard. The limit is 12 ounces, about the size of a soda can, for any powdered or powder-like substance in your carry-on. Above 12 ounces, the bag comes out of your carry-on for separate X-ray screening. The container can be opened, the contents can be tested, and if TSA can't quickly verify what's inside, meaning if the bag is unlabeled, repacked from the original, or in a generic Ziploc, the powder gets pulled. The items this rule catches are all things seniors pack on long trips. Ground coffee from your favorite roaster. Loose tea bags repacked into a Ziploc to save space. Protein meal replacement powder for managing weight. Baby powder for arthritis-prone joints. Powdered creamer because the hotel won't have it. Loose spices a relative sent you home with after Thanksgiving. All of them legitimate. All of them stopped if they're over 12 ounces and not in the original labeled container. 2 clean fixes. Keep any powder under 12 ounces in your carry-on and always leave it in the original labeled container. The label is what gets you through screening. If you need to travel with more than 12 ounces, move it to checked luggage. There's no powder limit in cargo. Now, back to that question I asked you at the start. Item 4. TSA doesn't actually take anything from you. This is the most important rule on the entire list, and almost no traveler our age has been told it. When TSA flags a prohibited item, they do not confiscate it. Federal regulation explicitly says they cannot. What they do is hand you 4 options: surrender the item to be destroyed, walk it back to your car, hand it to a non-traveling companion at the entrance, or return to the airline ticket counter to check it. For a senior traveling alone, after a 20-minute walk from the parking lot with a flight boarding in 30 minutes, 3 of those 4 options are physically impossible. So the default choice becomes surrender. That is the design. TSA is not stealing your wine opener. They are presenting you with 4 options where only one is realistic, and you choose the one that lets you make your flight. The items that get surrendered don't go home with the TSA agent. Federal rules forbid it. Most go to a state warehouse, and many end up auctioned on GovDeals, the government surplus site. Lots of 12 corkscrews, boxes of pocket knives. The $80 wine opener you surrendered last September is probably listed somewhere right now for $4. Knowing this rule reframes everything else on this list. 2 protections worth building into your packing routine. First, run one mental check before you reach the airport. Is there anything in this bag I'd be sad to surrender? If yes, photograph it, ship it home, or move it to checked. Second, most major U.S. airports have a FedEx or UPS counter inside the terminal, often within walking distance of security. For about $15, you can ship the item home instead of losing it. Almost no traveler our age has been told this option exists. You're 4 items in. Subscribe if you haven't yet. The 3 items coming up are the ones the rule changes this past year specifically targeted, and the cost of getting them wrong is the highest on this entire list. Item 3. The canister sitting at the bottom of your purse. Pepper spray. The canister you bought after a parking lot incident in the 1990s and have carried in your purse ever since. You forgot it was in there. TSA didn't. You get pulled aside, and you spend 10 minutes explaining yourself to an agent while a line builds behind you. Here is what almost no traveler our age has been told. Pepper spray is allowed on a U.S. flight. It just cannot be in your carry-on. The federal rule for checked luggage is specific. The canister must be 4 ounces or smaller. The active ingredient must be less than 2%. And there must be a safety mechanism to prevent accidental discharge. Most consumer pepper sprays sold at hardware and outdoor stores meet all 3. If yours does, it travels in your checked bag without issue. The mistake almost everyone makes is forgetting it's there. The fix is a 60-second check before you leave home. Open every purse, every handbag, and every jacket pocket you've used in the last decade. Pull out anything that looks like an old pepper spray canister. Move it to checked luggage if you actually want it on the trip, or leave it home and pick up a fresh one at the destination. Item 2. The little black brick in the front pocket of your roller bag. Power banks, portable phone chargers, spare lithium batteries. The battery case your phone slides into. All of these are now restricted in a way that catches seniors at the jet bridge more than at the security checkpoint. Spare lithium batteries cannot travel in cargo under any circumstances. Not in your big checked bag, not in your carry-on if it gets gate checked. They ride in the cabin with you, in the personal item under the seat. Always. What changed recently is enforcement. American Airlines now caps spare power banks at 2 per passenger, each under 100 watt-hours, kept accessible in the cabin. No overhead bins, no charging in flight. Other major U.S. airlines are tightening their own rules in the same direction. The FAA logged 97 lithium battery incidents on U.S. aircraft in 2025, and 82 of those were on passenger planes. Cargo fires from cheap power banks have become the single fastest-growing aviation hazard. The trap is invisible. Your overhead bin is full. The gate agent takes your roller bag for cargo. The power bank is in the front pocket where it's lived since your grandson set it up for you. The bag rides under the plane. If the crew catches it on the jet bridge, the bag gets pulled, you delay everyone behind you, and the bag may not make the flight. The protection has to be automatic. The moment you sit down at the gate, reach into the front pocket of your roller bag, take out any battery brick that lives there, and drop it into the personal item that stays under the seat with you. If the bag gets gate checked later, say, "I need to remove a battery before this goes in cargo," and the crew will wait the 10 seconds it takes. This last one is the reason I made this video. Item 1. The cordless curling iron that quietly became prohibited last July. TSA and the FAA added cordless hairstyling tools to the prohibited list for checked luggage in 2025, and almost nobody our age has been told. Specifically, cordless curling irons, cordless flat irons. Any hairstyling tool powered by a gas cartridge, butane fuel, or a lithium-ion battery. These can no longer travel in checked baggage, not folded into the toiletries kit, not buried in clothes, not in any compartment of a bag that rides in cargo. The carry-on rule is also stricter than before. 1 device per passenger. A safety cover must be securely fitted over the heating element. No spare gas cartridges in either bag, ever. Plug-in versions, the kind you grew up with, are completely fine. They have no battery and no fuel. They fly in any compartment. The reason matters. Lithium-ion batteries inside cordless tools are prone to thermal runaway. They can overheat to the point of catching fire hours after being switched off. In a checked bag, in the cargo hold, with no one there to notice, the fire spreads before the crew can respond. The cost of getting this wrong is the highest on this entire list. A cordless curling iron pulled at the gate costs $150 to $200 to replace. If you own one and you're flying, 2 clean options. Switch back to a plug-in version. They cost under $30, they fly anywhere, and they've worked for 50 years. Or keep the cordless version, but only ever in your carry-on, with the safety cover fitted over the heating element and never anywhere near a checked bag. Subscribe for more videos built for travelers our age. Click any of the videos on your screen now, and I'll see you over there in a moment.